Tom Brady is back in the spotlight, and the headlines are louder than ever. Just days after his ex-wife Gisele Bündchen tied the knot with jiu-jitsu instructor Joaquin Valente in a private Florida ceremony, Brady stirred the internet with cryptic Instagram posts, one featuring the song 1-800-273-8255, and another flaunting a hoodie reading Forever Young. Fans are buzzing about his state of mind, while others point to his growing influence as a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Whether it's family drama or football business, Brady proves he's still the master of commanding attention. Taylor Swift just broke the internet with one move at midnight. Taylor Swift didn't just make headlines at midnight, she engineered a cultural event. The moment came during the 2024 Grammy Awards season when she revealed the Tortured Poets Department, her 11th studio album, and then followed it with a precisely timed midnight rollout strategy that echoed her now famous Midnight's release philosophy. When the album officially dropped at 12 a.m. on April 19, 2024, global streaming platforms slowed, social media timelines flooded, and search traffic spiked within minutes. Spotify later confirmed it became the most streamed album in a single day in the platform's history at the time, surpassing even her own Midnight's record. Proof that her fan base operates more like a coordinated digital army than a casual audience. What made the move internet-breaking wasn't just the timing, but the layered execution. Swift paired the release with cryptic lyric teases, stark black and white visuals, and handwritten style typography that leaned heavily into literary and confessional themes, an intentional pivot from the glittery maximalism of 1989, Taylor's version. Even more fuel was added when, exactly 2 hours after midnight, she surprise dropped a second installment subtitled The Anthology, effectively turning one album into a 31-track event overnight. That twist alone triggered millions of reaction videos, lyric breakdown threads, and instant chart projections. Industry analysts noted that this midnight maneuver wasn't accidental hype. It was strategic dominance. By controlling timing, narrative, and volume, Swift bypassed traditional promo cycles entirely. As of 2025, the move is still cited in music business circles as a masterclass in audience psychology, proving that when Taylor Swift chooses midnight, the internet doesn't sleep. It crashes. Elon Musk said it on X, and it went viral before sunrise. Elon Musk has a long history of moving markets, memes, and media cycles with a single post, but his January 2025 X Payments announcement reminded the world just how fast his words still travel. On January 28th, Musk amplified CEO Linda Yaccarino's Visa partnership reveal, reaffirming his push toward transforming the platform into an everything app that blends social media, long-form videos, payments, and AI-driven tools. Within hours, the news racked up millions of views, tens of thousands of replies, and instant coverage from major financial and tech outlets. What made this moment viral wasn't flashy language, but context. By 2025, X had already rolled out creator monetization, expanded subscription tiers, and integrated AI features tied to Musk's X AI venture. The announcement directly referenced accelerating product changes rather than teasing vague ambitions, which analysts interpreted as a signal to investors and developers alike. Almost immediately, tech commentators began dissecting the implications for competitors like Meta and TikTok, while crypto and fintech communities zeroed in on payments infrastructure, an area Musk has openly discussed since his PayPal days in the early 2000s. There's also a historical pattern at play. Musk's X posts have previously impacted Tesla stock movement, cryptocurrency prices, and even regulatory conversations, a fact documented by market analysts and acknowledged by financial watchdogs. This latest development followed that same familiar arc. Announcement drop, overnight virality, and morning headlines. As of December 2025, it stands as another example of Musk bypassing press releases entirely, choosing instead to speak directly and instantly to a global audience. Love him or criticize him, the numbers don't lie. When Elon Musk posts on X, the internet still wakes up to it. Beyoncé just made a quiet move that set off a global frenzy. Beyoncé didn't announce a press conference, tease a countdown, or flood Instagram with clues. She simply let the moment happen. During the 2024 Super Bowl broadcast, Beyoncé appeared in a low-key Verizon commercial, and the internet assumed that was the whole cameo. Then, quietly and without warning, she dropped two songs, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, and confirmed Cowboy Carter, Act 2 of her planned trilogy. Within minutes, the shockwave hit globally. Country radio stations scrambled, streaming platforms surged, and music historians instantly clocked what she was doing, deliberately rewriting genre boundaries in real time. The move felt subtle, but the impact was massive. Texas Hold'em went on to debut at #1 on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart, making Beyoncé the first black woman in history to top that chart, an industry milestone rooted in verifiable chart data, not hype. The album, Cowboy Carter, released shortly after, blended traditional country instrumentation with gospel, folk, blues, and Americana, while explicitly acknowledging black pioneers of the genre who were historically sidelined. Beyoncé even included spoken interludes and credits that pointed listeners toward that erased history, a nerdy detail music scholars praised for its intentionality. What truly ignited the frenzy was how quiet the move was. No long rollout, no interviews, just action. By 2025, Cowboy Carter is widely cited in academic and industry discussions as one of the most disruptive genre-crossing albums of the decade. Beyoncé didn't ask permission, didn't argue online, and didn't explain herself first. She simply changed the conversation and let the world catch up afterward. Kim Kardashian posted one photo, and the internet exploded. Kim Kardashian has built an entire digital empire on understanding how images travel online, but one deceptively simple photo in 2024 proves she still knows exactly where the cultural pressure points are. The image, posted to her Instagram without an elaborate caption, showed Kardashian modeling Skims' now infamous Ultimate Nipple Bra, a design created to simulate visible nipples under clothing. Within minutes, the post detonated across social media. Screenshots spread faster than the algorithm could count. Reaction videos flooded TikTok, and fashion writers scrambled to contextualize what looked like just a photo, but clearly wasn't. The frenzy wasn't about shock value alone. The product itself sold out almost immediately after the post, and Skims confirmed a massive spike in site traffic that mirrored the brand's most successful launches. Critics and supporters alike weighed in, debating whether the image challenged outdated modesty norms or simply capitalized on provocation, an argument that's followed Kardashian since her early reality TV days. Fashion historians even pointed out that visible nipple aesthetics aren't new, tracing the look back to Jean-Paul Gaultier's 1990s runway designs and Madonna's iconic era, making Kardashian's move more of a remix than a rebellion. What made the moment explode was timing and silence. Kardashian didn't explain the photo, defend it, or joke about it. She let the internet argue with itself. As of 2025, Skims is valued in the multi-billion-dollar range, and this single post is frequently cited in marketing case studies as proof of Kardashian's rare ability to turn minimal content into maximum cultural noise. One photo, zero commentary, global conversation. At this point, it's less an accident and more a repeatable formula, and the internet still hasn't learned how to ignore it. Keanu Reeves just did something at 3 a.m. that shocked fans. Keanu Reeves has spent decades cultivating a reputation for doing extraordinary things quietly. But one late-night moment during Dogstar's 2024 reunion tour still caught fans off guard. At their August 2024 Rock im Park Festival set in Germany, Reeves and bandmates delivered a full 90-minute performance of new material from their 2023 album, Somewhere Between the Power Lines and Palm Trees, ending well past midnight with fan videos time-stamped around 1 a.m. There were no press alerts, no VIP sections, and no backstage barriers. Reeves walked on stage carrying his bass, nodded to the 80,000-person crowd, and played an intimate set as if he weren't one of the most recognizable actors on the planet. What shocked fans wasn't just the timing, it was the intent. Dogstar's comeback wasn't designed as a nostalgia cash grab. The band released new music in 2023, rehearsed extensively, and insisted on playing full tours rather than festival flybys. Reeves, a longtime bassist who learned by studying players like Peter Hook and John Deacon, has repeatedly stated in interviews that music keeps him grounded in a way film never quite does. These festival shows reinforced that philosophy. No cameras on stage, no monologues, just musicianship. The internet frenzy followed hours later when exhausted fans uploaded shaky clips and stunned captions. By morning, the videos had millions of views. As of 2025, this moment is already being cited as peak Keanu energy, the same man who's given up subway seats, taken pay cuts to support film crews, and shown up anonymously to charity events. Past midnight, while most celebrities are asleep or surrounded by handlers, Reeves was still doing what he always has done best, showing up quietly for the love of it. Selena Gomez broke her silence overnight, and everyone noticed. Selena Gomez has learned the hard way that silence, for her, is never empty. It's always loud. That's why her May 2024 Rare Beauty Mental Health Summit comments immediately set off alarms across fan communities and newsrooms alike. During the New York event, Gomez addressed disabling Instagram comments for friends only, reaffirming her long-standing focus on mental health boundaries. By morning, clips of her Today interview had spread globally, with millions dissecting her words before she even woke up. What made the moment powerful wasn't drama, it was consistency. Gomez has been unusually transparent for a pop star of her scale, openly discussing her lupus diagnosis, kidney transplant, and bipolar disorder diagnosis over the years, all of which are documented in interviews, medical disclosures, and her 2022 Apple TV Plus documentary, My Mind and Me. In the summit talk, she didn't announce a comeback or clap back at critics. Instead, she reiterated that protecting her mental health sometimes means disengaging, even when the internet demands constant reaction. That restraint, paradoxically, made the message louder. The response was immediate. Mental health advocates praised the clarity of her boundaries, while industry analysts noted how rare it is for a celebrity with 400+ million Instagram followers to intentionally slow the attention cycle. The timing mattered too. Shared during a public event, it avoided real-time pile-ons and let the message breathe on its own terms. As of 2025, Gomez continues to balance music, acting, and her Rare Impact Fund, which has already committed tens of millions toward expanding global access to mental health resources. The summit talk didn't spark controversy, it sparked reflection, and in a culture addicted to instant noise, Selena Gomez once again proved that choosing when to speak can matter more than speaking constantly. Dwayne Johnson said 2 words, and it lit up the news cycle. Dwayne Johnson didn't raise his voice, post a rant, or drop a manifesto. He simply said, "I won't," and the media cycle detonated overnight. The 2 words came during a widely circulated 2024 interview when Johnson was asked whether he would endorse a U.S. presidential candidate again, as he had done publicly in 2020. His answer was calm, direct, and unmistakable. He would not. Within hours, headlines exploded. Cable panels debated his influence, and social media dissected the moment frame by frame. The reason it mattered is context. Johnson is not just a movie star. By 2025, he remains one of the most followed public figures on the planet, with an audience that spans film, sports, business, and politics. When he endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in 2020, it was widely covered as a rare political move from a Hollywood figure who had long avoided formal alignment. In the 2024 interview, Johnson explained that while he believed in civic engagement, the endorsement brought division he hadn't anticipated, an admission that media analysts immediately framed as a shift in celebrity political strategy. What made the moment go nuclear was how unrock-like it felt. No catchphrases, no eyebrow, just restraint. News outlets tied the statement to broader conversations about celebrity influence, voter trust, and whether famous voices still move political needles the way they once did. Even entertainment reporters pulled clips from his earlier films, The Rundown, Fast Five, and Black Adam, joking that the most powerful line of his career might not have come from a script. As of this month in 2025, Johnson's two-word decision is still referenced in media studies and political commentary. In an era of nonstop takes, Dwayne Johnson proved something unexpected. Sometimes the loudest statement is simply knowing when to stop talking. Lady Gaga just announced something no one saw coming. Lady Gaga has never followed a straight line, but even by her standards, her late 2024 announcement caught fans flat-footed. Without a long teaser campaign or traditional rollout, Gaga revealed Harlequin, a jazz-leaning companion album tied to her role as Harley Quinn in Joker: Folie à Deux. The project wasn't a pop pivot or a soundtrack in the usual sense. It was a stylized collection rooted in classic jazz and theatrical standards, released alongside the film rather than positioned for radio dominance. That creative choice instantly set off debate, curiosity, and admiration in equal measure. What made the announcement surprising was its timing and intent. Coming off years of high-octane pop, Chromatica, stadium tours, and award-winning acting turns, many expected her next move to be another chart-first era. Instead, Gaga leaned into her long-documented love of jazz, a passion previously showcased in her collaborations with Tony Bennett, and reframed it through the lens of a psychologically complex character. Music critics quickly noted how the album's aesthetic echoed old Hollywood cabaret traditions while still feeling unmistakably Gaga, down to the dramatic phrasing and meticulous vocal control. The internet reaction was immediate. Fans dissected track choices, film connections, and visual cues, while film scholars pointed out how rare it is for a lead actor to release a full companion album that exists adjacent to, rather than inside, a movie's narrative. As of 2025, Harlequin is already being cited as a case study in cross-medium storytelling, music that deepens a character rather than promotes a brand. Lady Gaga didn't tease a comeback, chase trends, or explain herself endlessly. She simply announced the project, dropped it into the world, and let audiences catch up. For an artist who once arrived at the Grammys in an egg, quietly surprising people might be her most daring move yet. Zendaya's new post left fans stunned while they slept. Zendaya didn't announce a project, drop a trailer, or tease a film. She simply showed up. During her April 2024 Challengers press tour in Rome, Zendaya wore a custom white Calvin Klein skirt suit to the premiere, and by morning, the internet looked like it had collectively missed an earthquake. The look itself was understated, clean lines, sculptural tailoring, and zero gimmicks. The reaction, however, was anything but. Calvin Klein's Instagram post surged, social platforms flooded with reposts, and fashion editors rushed to contextualize why one appearance caused such an outsized response. The surprise wasn't shock value, it was restraint. In an era of maximalist fashion drops, Zendaya's campaign leaned into classic Calvin Klein DNA: simplicity, confidence, and controlled power. Industry analysts pointed out that the look aligned perfectly with her long-standing brand evolution, shaped closely by stylist Law Roach, where every appearance feels intentional rather than algorithm-driven. Within hours, the premiere images were trending globally, with fans joking that Zendaya could wear a suit and alter the timeline, a running meme that followed her since Euphoria reignited her cultural dominance. What added fuel was timing. The appearance landed during a packed moment in her career, coming off of Dune Part 2 promotions and launching Challengers, a film that had already sparked online buzz for its unconventional sports drama framing. Yet she didn't mention either project. No caption explaining context, no hashtags, just the look. As of 2025, marketing case studies still cite that Rome premiere as proof of Zendaya's rare position in pop culture. She doesn't chase attention, she curates it. While fans slept, she reminded the internet that influence doesn't require noise. Sometimes it's just one look, perfectly timed and perfectly silent. Ryan Reynolds makes a midnight move, and Blake had something to say. Ryan Reynolds has turned late-night posting into performance art, and one quiet move during the 2024 Super Bowl proved he still knows how to hijack the internet on his own schedule. In the hours when most fans were asleep, Ryan Reynolds dropped the Deadpool and Wolverine teaser trailer after Super Bowl 58 on February 11th. Not a full trailer, not a press blast, just a precisely timed tease that confirmed the film's irreverent tone and officially locked in its R-rated promise with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. By morning, the post had become dissected frame by frame, with fans clocking Easter eggs and industry reporters racing to contextualize what it meant for Marvel's broader strategy. Then came the second act. Blake Lively responded publicly with a dry, playful comment that instantly went viral. Not because it contradicted him, but because it punctured the hype in classic Lively fashion. Her response leaned into their long-running, well-documented tradition of affectionate trolling, a dynamic that's played out for years across social media and red carpets. The exchange felt unscripted, which only amplified its reach. What made the moment resonate wasn't the celebrity couple's spectacle, it was timing and trust. Reynolds understands the value of off-hours drops, a tactic he used effectively with past Deadpool promos and even brand launches like Aviation Gin. Lively, meanwhile, has built credibility as more than a punchline partner, balancing fashion influence with selective acting choices and sharp public instincts. As of 2025, marketing analysts still point to that Super Bowl move as a lesson in controlled chaos. Just say enough, say it late, and let the audience do the work by morning. And if your spouse joins in, even better. The internet doesn't just wake up, it laughs, clicks, and keeps scrolling. Oprah just took action overnight, and it's making headlines worldwide. Oprah Winfrey didn't host a special, sit for a long interview, or tease a reveal. She simply acted. In early 2024, Winfrey announced that she was stepping down from the board of Weight Watchers and donating all of her shares in the company to the Natural Museum of African American History and Culture. The decision landed quickly and quietly, but by morning it was global news. Financial reporters, health commentators, and cultural critics all zeroed in on what the move signaled, not just for the company, but for Oprah's evolving public philosophy. The context mattered. Oprah had been associated with Weight Watchers for nearly a decade, joining as a board member and major shareholder in 2015 and becoming one of the program's most visible advocates. Over time, however, the public conversation around weight, health, and body image shifted dramatically, especially as medical treatments and mental health-centered approaches became more prominent. By stepping away and redirecting her stake toward a cultural institution, Oprah effectively closed one chapter and reinforced another, her long-standing commitment to education, history, and legacy building. What made headlines wasn't controversy, it was clarity. Oprah publicly stated that her decision was rooted in alignment and evolution, not regret. Analysts noted that donating the shares avoided any perception of personal financial maneuvering, while philanthropists praised the choice of recipient given Oprah's decades-long support of Black cultural preservation. The overnight nature of the announcement only amplified its impact. There was no drawn-out narrative to argue with. As of 2025, the move is frequently cited in business and media studies as a rare example of a celebrity disentangling from a lucrative partnership without spectacle. Oprah didn't debate. She didn't defend. She simply moved, and by sunrise, the world was already adjusting to what that move meant. Adele quietly dropped something major, and fans are in tears. Adele didn't release a surprise album or drop a dramatic statement online. Instead, she did something far more Adele-like. She said it out loud, on stage, almost casually, and let the weight of it sink in. During the final stretch of her weekends with Adele Las Vegas residency in late 2024, Adele revealed that she was planning to take a long break from music after completing her scheduled shows, including her massive 2024 Munich concerts. The announcement wasn't framed as a retirement, But it was unmistakably a pause, and fans immediately understood the significance. The moment hit hard because of context. Adele's Vegas residency had already become legendary for its intimacy, consistency, and emotional transparency, a sharp contrast to the chaotic residency attempts earlier in her career. Night after night, she spoke candidly about burnout, motherhood, and the toll of constant public expectation. When she admitted she didn't know when she'd return to making new music, the room reportedly went silent before breaking into tears and applause. A reaction echoed across social media once clips surfaced. What made the news spread so fast was how quietly it happened. No press release, no headline-ready phrasing. Just Adele being honest, as she's been since 19. Music analysts quickly noted that her decision aligns with a long pattern. Adele has always prioritized life over momentum, famously disappearing for years between albums like 21, 25, and 30. That gap, ironically, is part of what makes each return feel seismic. As of 2025, fans aren't mourning an ending. They're grieving a pause they know they can't rush. Adele didn't drop a song, she dropped the truth. And for an artist whose voice has soundtracked breakups, grief, and healing for over a decade, that was enough to leave millions emotional. Jennifer Lopez went live for 2 minutes and broke the internet. Jennifer Lopez didn't need a long monologue to set the internet on fire. 2 minutes were enough. In early 2024, Lopez briefly went live on Instagram late at night, casually previewing and discussing elements tied to This Is Me Now. Her deeply personal music and film project was released that February. There was no polished script, no press framing, and no countdown. She appeared relaxed, spoke candidly about the emotional origins of the project, thanked fans for sticking with her through long creative gaps, and then logged off. By the time most people woke up, the clips were everywhere. The frenzy wasn't about shock, it was vulnerability. This Is Me Now marked Lopez's first studio album in nearly a decade and was paired with a surreal, narrative-driven Amazon Prime Video film that blended music, fantasy, and autobiography. Critics and fans had already been debating the project's symbolism, zodiac councils, phoenix imagery, and callbacks to her 2002 album, This Is Me Then. The live session quietly confirmed what many suspected. This wasn't a commercial reset, it was personal closure. That clarity hit hard. What made the 2-minute live explode was timing and scarcity. Lopez rarely goes live without promotion, and the unannounced nature made it feel intimate rather than performative. Within hours, entertainment outlets quoted her remarks, while fans replayed screen recordings like evidence. Media analysts noted how the moment cut through skepticism surrounding celebrity live streams by being genuinely brief and unfiltered. As of 2025, the live is still referenced when discussing Lopez's evolution from pop hitmaker to legacy artist willing to take creative risks. She didn't oversell, didn't explain everything, and didn't stay long enough to dilute the impact. 2 minutes, one phone camera, and decades of cultural gravity. Sometimes that's all Jennifer Lopez needs to remind the internet she's still very much in control. Kylie Jenner made a billion-dollar move overnight. Kylie Jenner didn't announce a flashy new product or post a celebrity selfie. She made a business move that reshaped her empire while most people were asleep. The moment traces back to her decision to sell a majority stake of Kylie Cosmetics to Coty Incorporated, a deal publicly confirmed in late 2019, but still reverberating through 2024 and into 2025 as the brand continues its global expansion. Coty paid $600 million for a 51% stake, valuing the company at roughly $1.2 billion and instantly turning Kylie's beauty brand into a serious corporate player rather than a celebrity side project. What made the move feel overnight was how fast perception changed. One press release later, Kylie Jenner was no longer just a social media-driven founder. She was a strategic minority owner with a multinational beauty conglomerate handling manufacturing, distribution, and international growth. Industry analysts noted that Kylie retained creative control and branding influence while offloading the operational weight that typically crushes celebrity startups after their initial hype phase. It was a rare case of cashing out without checking out. The long-term impact became clearer by 2024 when Kylie Cosmetics underwent a major relaunch with cleaner formulations, wider international availability, and tighter alignment with Coty's global retail network. Beauty insiders openly described the deal as one of the smartest exits and evolutions in modern celebrity business, especially compared to short-lived influencer brands that never scale. As of 2025, Kylie's move is still studied in business schools and marketing breakdowns, not because it was loud, but because it was precise. She didn't wait for the brand to fade. She didn't cling to full ownership out of ego. She traded control for longevity. One signature, one announcement, and $1 billion valuation later, Kylie Jenner proved she wasn't just selling lip kits, she was selling leverage. Drake said one line in a song and woke up the entire industry. Drake has a long history of using lyrics as pressure points, but one line dropped in April 2024 that sent shockwaves far beyond his fan base. On Push-Ups, released April 19th amid his Kendrick Lamar feud, Drake delivered, "Maroon 5 needs a verse. You better make it witty. Then we need a verse from Future. Then we need a verse from 21. Then we need a verse from Travis. Then we need a verse from Dot," which listeners immediately interpreted as shots at hip-hop heavyweights. By sunrise, the industry was in full decode mode. Producers, rappers, journalists, and even Spotify-curated playlists reacted in real time, proving that a single Drake lyric can still hijack the entire conversation. What made the line explode wasn't volume or aggression, it was precision. Drake has mastered the art of lyrical ambiguity, a technique rooted in classic rap tradition where implication carries more weight than direct confrontation. Hip-hop historians quickly compared the moment to earlier subliminal wars, from Jay-Z and Nas in the early 2000s to Drake's own past lyrical exchanges with peers. The bar was technically clean, legally safe, and musically understated, yet culturally loud. That balance is why it worked. Within hours, streaming numbers spiked not just for Drake's catalog, but for the artists fans believed were being referenced. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Think pieces appeared across major music publications, and radio hosts debated whether the line marked a shift toward a more competitive era in mainstream rap. Notably, Drake himself didn't explain or expand on it, an intentional silence that only fueled speculation. As of 2025, the moment is already being studied as a case example in modern music marketing, how a single lyric, released without warning, can dominate cycles usually reserved for album drops. Drake didn't call anyone out directly. He didn't need to. One line was enough to wake up the industry and remind everyone that in hip-hop, words still move faster than headlines. Billie Eilish revealed a secret at 1 a.m., and it's still trending. Billie Eilish has never followed pop's traditional clock, and one quiet reveal in the early hours of 2024 proved she still knows how to stop the internet cold. At roughly 1 a.m., Eilish posted a low-key message alongside visuals tied to Hit Me Hard and Soft, confirming details about the album's concept and release that hadn't been formally explained before. There was no live stream, no press embargo, just a candid nocturnal drop that felt more like a diary entry than a marketing move. By the time fans woke up, it was already trending worldwide. The secret wasn't gossip, it was intent. Eilish explained that Hit Me Hard and Soft was designed to be experienced as a full body of work, not a playlist of singles. No advanced radio push, no staggered track releases. Music journalists immediately clocked how rare that approach is in the streaming era, where algorithms reward constant drip feeding. The decision echoed how she and her brother Phineas built earlier albums like When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go?, prioritizing cohesion over chart gymnastics. What made the 1 a.m. reveal linger was its tone. Eilish didn't oversell the album or frame it as a reinvention. She framed it as honesty, music meant to hit emotionally and then sit with you. Fans latched onto that immediately, sharing screenshots and dissecting the phrasing line by line. Industry analysts noted that the post reinforced her growing reputation as an anti-gimmick pop star in a hyper-gimmicked space. As of 2025, Hit Me Hard and Soft is still discussed as a turning point in modern album strategy, and that sleepy 1 a.m. post is often cited as the moment expectations snapped into focus. Billie Eilish didn't reveal a scandal. She revealed how she wanted to be heard, and sometimes that's the kind of secret that keeps trending long after the sun comes up. Megan Fox just changed her bio, and it started a firestorm. Megan Fox didn't post a statement or call a press outlet. She wiped her Instagram clean, and the internet did the rest. On May 16, 2024, her 38th birthday, fans noticed Fox unfollowed everyone and deleted all posts from her account, leaving a blank slate with 21 million-plus followers. No explanation followed. Within hours, screenshots circulated across platforms, sparking intense speculation about identity, autonomy, and where Fox stands in her personal and professional life. The reaction wasn't random. It was contextual. Fox has spent years navigating a hyper-scrutinized public image, from early career objectification to her more recent reclamation of voice through interviews and her 2023 poetry book, Pretty Boys Are Poisonous, which explored trauma, self-definition, and control in unflinching terms. Against that backdrop, the account wipe read less like a cosmetic tweak and more like a signal, intentional or not, that she was tightening boundaries again. Digital culture experts often note that social media resets function as modern mission statements, especially for celebrities who otherwise avoid oversharing. What ignited the firestorm was the silence that followed. Fox didn't clarify, correct, or tease meaning. Entertainment outlets pulled timelines, fans cross-referenced past interviews, and think pieces debated whether the move represented emotional distancing, brand recalibration, or simply a desire for privacy. Even fashion and film commentators weighed in, pointing out that Fox has increasingly chosen selective appearances over constant visibility, a sharp contrast to her earlier career. As of December 2025, nothing dramatic has been confirmed, and that's precisely the point. The episode has become a case study in how minimal digital changes can trigger maximal reaction when a figure has long been denied narrative control. Megan Fox didn't announce a reinvention. She hit delete. The internet wrote the rest, proving once again that sometimes the loudest celebrity moments are the quietest ones. Eminem just responded overnight, and everyone's talking about it. Eminem has never needed a press conference to make his point, and in mid-2024 he proved that instinct is still razor-sharp. When online debates reignited around his relevance, age, and whether his style still fits modern hip-hop, Eminem didn't argue on social media or issue a statement. Instead, he responded the only way he ever has, by dropping Houdini, a single that landed with zero warning and instantly detonated across platforms overnight. By morning, the song was trending globally, radio programmers were scrambling, and hip-hop forums were in full analysis mode. What made the response hit wasn't just nostalgia, it was construction. Houdini deliberately leaned into his early Slim Shady persona, complete with self-aware humor, rapid-fire internal rhyme schemes, and visual callbacks in the music video to earlier eras of his career. But it wasn't a recycle job. The production was modern, the pacing sharp, and the message unmistakable. Eminem knows exactly what people are saying, and he's choosing to answer on his terms. Music journalists quickly noted how the song functioned as both satire and rebuttal, a classic Marshall Mathers move dating back to the Marshall Mathers LP. The overnight impact was measurable. Streaming numbers spiked immediately, the video racked up millions of views within hours, and chart projections surged before the full album, The Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace, was even released. Industry analysts pointed out that very few artists, especially decades into their careers, can still shift the conversation with a single drop. As of 2025, Houdini is already cited as one of the smartest late-career pivots in rap, not because it chased trends, but because it weaponized memory, skill, and timing. Eminem didn't deny the criticism. He flipped it, laughed at it, and reminded everyone overnight why his voice still commands attention. Doja Cat's surprise drop had millions awake at 2 a.m. Doja Cat has made unpredictability part of her brand, but Scarlet to Claude's April 5, 2024 drop pushed that reputation into overdrive. Without a traditional countdown or label-heavy build-up, Doja's surprise expanded Scarlet with 7 new tracks, Tizo Touchdown and ASAP Rocky features, which fans discovered immediately, triggering frantic posts, livestream reactions, and lyric screenshots that spread globally overnight. By morning, the drop was dominating music timelines across continents. What made the moment hit harder was context. Throughout 2023 and 2024, Doja has openly challenged fan expectations, publicly distancing herself from pop formulas and leaning into darker, rap-forward aesthetics. Scarlet itself marked a sharp tonal shift. Minimal features, aggressive lyricism, and stripped-back production designed to spotlight technical skill rather than hooks. The deluxe release reinforced that mission. No singles engineered for radio, no choreography bait, just bars, mood, and intention. Music analysts quickly noted how the timing worked in her favor. Surprise expansions tapped directly into Gen Z's always-online culture, where discovery feels personal rather than programmed. The songs immediately surged on streaming platforms, and search traffic spiked as fans tried to determine whether it was a full reissue or a Scarlet extension. Doja, characteristically, didn't clarify right away. There was also a historical echo. Hip-hop has long used surprise releases as power plays, from Beyoncé's self-titled drop to Kanye's midnight uploads, but Doja's version felt deliberately anti-glamorous. No visuals at first, no captions explaining the art, just sound. As of 2025, the deluxe drop is still referenced in discussions about artist autonomy in the streaming era. Doja Cat didn't wake people up with controversy, she did it with confidence. While millions refreshed their apps half asleep, she reminded the industry that attention doesn't always come from noise. Sometimes it comes from dropping exactly what you want, exactly when you want it, and letting the internet catch up on its own. Shakira's late-night post made her the #1 trend worldwide. Shakira didn't schedule a press hit or drop a trailer. She tapped post late at night and let the internet do the rest. In 2024, Shakira shared a brief, understated update tied to Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran, her first studio album in 7 years, and the reaction was instantaneous. Within hours, the post shot to the top of global trends as fans connected the dots between the album's themes, her recent singles, and what the message signaled about a full creative reset. By morning, she was the most discussed artist online across multiple regions. The timing mattered. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran arrived after a highly visible run of singles that blended reggaeton, pop, and EDM with candid lyricism, and the album quickly set streaming records for a Latin pop release by a female artist in its opening week. Shakira's late-night post didn't oversell numbers or tease drama. Instead, it emphasized gratitude, resilience, and momentum, language that resonated given her well-documented personal and professional upheavals over the prior years. Music journalists noted how the album title itself reframed vulnerability as strength, a thesis the post quietly reinforced. What pushed the moment into #1 trend territory was scale and scarcity. Shakira rarely posts without purpose, and fans have learned to treat her updates like dispatches rather than filler. The post also reignited discussion about her global touring plans, which soon followed with confirmed dates, sending search traffic and ticket interest surging overnight. Even casual listeners woke up to headlines, memes, and lyric breakdowns in multiple languages. As of 2025, that late-night message is cited in marketing breakdowns as a reminder that legacy artists can still command the algorithm without shouting. Shakira didn't spark controversy, she sparked connection. One post, perfectly timed, was enough to put the entire world back on her clock. Pete Davidson was spotted last night, and the internet lost it. Pete Davidson didn't announce a project, tease a joke, or go live. He was simply spotted out late, and that was enough to send the internet into a full spiral. In late 2024, photos surfaced of Davidson stepping out at night looking noticeably different, leaner, healthier, and deliberately low-key. Within hours, the images were everywhere. Social platforms filled with side-by-side comparisons, think pieces, and half-joking headlines asking whether this was a new era or just Pete being Pete again. The reaction wasn't really about fashion or paparazzi culture. It was about context. Davidson has been unusually open about his mental health, sobriety journey, and the physical toll of Crohn's disease, a chronic inflammatory condition he's discussed publicly for years. By 2024, he had already stepped back from constant visibility, scaled down his social media presence, and chosen projects more selectively after leaving Saturday Night Live in 2022. So when he reappeared looking visibly steadier, fans read it as a quiet checkpoint rather than a random sighting. What fueled the frenzy was familiarity. Davidson has become a strange cultural mirror. Every change in haircut, weight, or demeanor sparks discourse because audiences feel like they know him. Entertainment journalists noted how quickly the conversation shifted from memes to genuine concern and support, a rare pivot in celebrity coverage. Even comedians weighed in, pointing out that Davidson's appeal has always been his transparency, not polish. As of 2025, no dramatic announcement has been associated with that night, no trailer, no reveal, and that's precisely why it landed so hard. Pete Davidson didn't chase attention. He accidentally reminded people he still has it. One late-night sighting was enough to dominate timelines, proving that in an era of constant noise, sometimes just showing up, quietly, visibly okay, is what really stops the internet in its tracks. Millie Bobby Brown just said yes, and her fans weren't ready. Millie Bobby Brown didn't stage a magazine cover reveal or tease a reality-style announcement. She simply confirmed it, and the internet collectively gasped. In 2023, Brown revealed her engagement to Jake Bon Jovi, son of rock icon John Bon Jovi, but the shockwave didn't fade. Instead, it carried straight into 2024 and 2025 as fans slowly processed the reality. The Stranger Things star, who many still associate with her preteen debut, had very intentionally stepped into adulthood on her own terms. The reaction wasn't about scandal, it was about time perception. Brown has grown up almost entirely in public, debuting on Stranger Things at age 11 and becoming an executive producer before turning 20. By the time she said yes, she had already launched a best-selling beauty brand, Florence by Mills, authored a novel, and headlined multiple Netflix blockbusters. Yet for many fans, the engagement triggered a strange cultural whiplash, proof that the child star era was officially over. What grounded the moment was Brown's tone. She framed the engagement not as a fairy tale, but as a personal milestone built on privacy, stability, and shared values. In interviews, she has consistently pushed back against being infantilized, openly discussing boundaries, independence, and her desire for a grounded life outside constant fame. That context mattered. Media analysts noted how her announcement avoided spectacle and leaned into maturity, a rarity for someone whose life could easily be monetized for clicks. As of 2025, Brown continues to balance acting, entrepreneurship, and advocacy work, showing no signs of slowing down or reshaping herself to fit expectations. Fans weren't unready because the choice was sudden. They weren't ready because it confirmed something bigger. Millie Bobby Brown didn't just say yes to a person. She said yes to defining adulthood on her own timeline, and the internet is still catching up. Gigi Hadid was photographed at midnight, and it sparked rumors fast. Gigi Hadid didn't post a story, confirm a headline, or tease a reveal. She was simply photographed out late with Bradley Cooper, and within hours, the rumor mill was running at full speed. On September 14, 2025, paparazzi images captured Hadid stepping out around midnight in New York for a Vogue cover party at Monsieur, dressed in muumuu patchwork, relaxed and hand-in-hand with Cooper. By morning, those photos had traveled far beyond fashion blogs, igniting speculation about engagement and their future. The reaction wasn't random, it was contextual. Hadid has deliberately shifted how much of her life is visible since becoming a mother in 2020, consistently prioritizing privacy while remaining one of the most in-demand models in the world. By 2025, she had scaled back constant runway appearances, focusing instead on selective campaigns, co-hosting Next in Fashion, and expanding her cashmere brand, Guest in Residence. So when she appeared publicly at an unusual hour, fans treated it less like a sighting and more like a clue. What fueled rumors was restraint. No obvious entourage, no flashy styling, just Gigi moving through the city like a normal New Yorker, which ironically made the images feel louder. Fashion analysts quickly pointed out that her look aligned with the current quiet luxury and off-duty supermodel aesthetic she's helped popularize. Others noted how even mundane appearances by Hadid still carried disproportionate cultural weight due to her long-standing influence across modeling, social media, and brand building. Cardi B posted, then deleted, but not before it went viral. Cardi B has built an entire public persona on unfiltered honesty, so when she briefly posted, and then quickly deleted, a 2024 album update, the internet reacted exactly how you'd expect, instantly and relentlessly. On May 14, 2024, Cardi tweeted, "No album this year. I don't care. I'm relaxing this year," responding to fan pressure before deleting amid backlash. Screenshots spread across platforms within minutes, with fans and commentators racing to interpret what they'd just seen before it vanished. By morning, the deleted post had already outlived its original form, turning into headlines, reaction videos, and long threads dissecting tone, timing, and intent. What made the moment viral wasn't scandal, it was familiarity. Cardi has a long, well-documented history of using social media as a pressure valve, often posting candid thoughts in real time and deleting them once the moment passes. She's openly admitted in interviews that she sometimes vents online and then pulls back when emotions cool. That pattern made the deletion feel human rather than strategic, even as it fueled speculation. Media analysts noted that deleted posts often generate more engagement than permanent ones, and Cardi's massive following ensures that nothing truly disappears. Context mattered too. By 2024, Cardi was deep into navigating expectations about her long-awaited second studio album, balancing motherhood, business ventures, and intense public scrutiny. Any hint, real or perceived, about her creative process or personal state was bound to spark conversation. The deleted post didn't confirm anything concrete, but it reignited debates about pressure on artists to constantly update fans while simultaneously protecting their mental space. As of 2025, Cardi hasn't retroactively explained that specific post, and she doesn't need to. Digital culture discussions often cite this episode as evidence that authenticity, no matter how fleeting, can still pierce through algorithmic noise. Cardi B didn't leave the post up long enough to control the narrative. But she didn't lose it either. In a world where screenshots are faster than thought, one deleted moment was all it took to remind everyone, when Cardi speaks, even briefly, the internet listens. Jason Momoa's new look dropped overnight, and it's all over social media. Jason Momoa didn't roll out a fashion campaign or tease a makeover. He simply posted a video, and by morning the internet had whiplash. On July 30th, 2025, Momoa revealed that he had shaved his beard for the first time in 6 years, a look he debuted quietly online while much of the world slept. By sunrise, the images were everywhere. Fans barely recognized him. Memes multiplied. Headlines followed. And yes, people briefly mourned the beard like a fallen character from Game of Thrones. What made the moment bigger than aesthetics was the reason behind it. Momoa shaved as part of a push tied to Dune Part 3 prep and his ongoing environmental advocacy, specifically spotlighting sustainability and his aluminum water brand, Mananalu, which aims to reduce single-use plastic. In the video, he openly connected the shave to change, personal, environmental, and symbolic, turning what could have been a shallow new look reveal into a statement with purpose, saying, "Damn it, I hate it." Nerdy trivia fans quickly noted that the last time Momoa appeared clean-shaven was before his breakout as Khal Drogo, making the moment feel like a full-circle reset. The social media reaction was immediate and global. Fashion writers debated whether the beard-free look made him appear younger or simply unfamiliar, while film fans pointed out how drastically facial hair has shaped his on-screen persona from Aquaman to Dune. Even grooming brands chimed in, sensing blood in the algorithmic water. As of 2025, the overnight shave is still referenced as one of the most unexpected celebrity image shifts in recent years, not because it was scandalous, but because it disrupted a decade-long visual identity in one quiet post. Jason Momoa didn't chase attention. He changed his face, explained why, and went to bed. By morning, the internet had done the rest. Harry Styles just got caught on camera, and it's blowing up. Harry Styles wasn't on a stage, red carpet, or movie set when cameras caught him in early 2025. He was running through the streets of Tokyo like a regular guy with a bib number. Styles quietly participated in the Tokyo Marathon on March 2, 2025, and when photos and videos of him mid-race surfaced online, the internet lost its collective balance almost instantly. No announcement, no PR rollout, just Harry Styles, sweating, focused, and very much not performing for anyone. What made the footage explode wasn't just celebrity surprise, it was authenticity. Marathon records confirm that Styles completed the race in 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 7 seconds, an objectively impressive time that immediately shut down jokes about it being a casual jog. Fitness experts weighed in, noting that his pace reflected serious training, not a publicity stunt. Perfect, even splits of 1 hour, 42 minutes, 3 seconds, and 1 hour, 42 minutes, 4 seconds. Fans, meanwhile, zoomed in on details. The low-key running gear, the lack of entourage, and the fact that he blended so seamlessly into the crowd that some runners didn't realize who they were pacing next to until after the race. The moment hit a nerve culturally. Styles has spent the past few years redefining pop stardom, taking breaks between albums, avoiding constant online presence, and choosing privacy over visibility whenever possible. Being caught on camera, doing something physically demanding, personal, and completely unglamorous reinforced that shift. Social media quickly reframed the narrative from spotted to quietly impressive, with memes praising his stamina and jokes about fans needing water just watching him run. As of 2025, the Tokyo Marathon footage is still referenced as peak modern celebrity behavior. No announcements, no selfies, and no branding. Harry Styles didn't go viral because he tried to. He went viral because he lived his life in public just long enough for the cameras to catch it, and then kept running. Sofia Vergara went public with someone, and the paparazzi went wild. Sofia Vergara didn't stage a glossy debut or leak a carefully worded quote. She was simply seen out, smiling, relaxed, and unmistakably not hiding. In mid-2024, Vergara stepped out publicly with Justin Salomon, and within hours, paparazzi photos were everywhere. Sidewalk shots turned into front-page slideshows, entertainment shows replayed the footage on loop, and social media did what it always does when a beloved star re-enters the dating conversation. It analyzed everything. The timing mattered. Vergara's very public divorce from George Manganiello in 2023 had been followed by months of speculation about what or who might come next. By the time she appeared with Solomon, a Los Angeles-based orthopedic surgeon with no Hollywood resume, the contrast itself became part of the story. Commentators quickly noted the absence of industry theatrics, no coordinated outfits, no performative PDA, and no influencer choreography. Just two adults walking, talking, and very much aware that cameras were watching. What sent paparazzi into overdrive was how normal it all looked. Vergara, long defined by red carpet glamour and sitcom polish from Modern Family, appeared deliberately off-duty. Fashion writers clocked the casual styling. Relationship columnists pointed out that Salomon's profession places him far outside the usual celebrity dating orbit, which only intensified curiosity. Even memes leaned affectionate rather than snarky, a rare tone shift in celebrity coverage. As of 2025, Vergara hasn't framed the relationship as a headline moment, and that restraint has kept interest alive rather than exhausting it. Media analysts often note that going public today isn't about announcements, it's about permission. Sofia Vergara didn't ask for approval. She stepped out, lived her life, and let the cameras do what they do. The paparazzi went wild, not because she tried to make news, but because she didn't, and that difference was impossible to ignore. Jake Gyllenhaal's midnight interview has people rewatching it on loop. Jake Gyllenhaal didn't reveal a scandal or drop a shocking quote. He simply talked thoughtfully on late-night TV and broke the algorithm. On March 18, 2024, during The Tonight Show, Gyllenhaal's clip discussing accidentally punching Conor McGregor for real during Roadhouse prep began circulating online overnight, quickly gaining traction as viewers replayed his deadpan delivery. By morning, the segment was trending, with fans calling it one of his most honest and unexpectedly compelling conversations in years. The timing wasn't accidental. Gyllenhaal was promoting Roadhouse, a physically demanding reimagining of the cult 1989 film, and the interview leaned heavily into process rather than promotion. He spoke in detail about MMA training, aging in action roles, and why he's become more selective with projects despite remaining one of Hollywood's most bankable actors. Film nerds immediately clocked the through line to earlier performances, from the obsessive discipline of Nightcrawler to the controlled volatility of Prisoners. This wasn't a star selling a movie. It was an actor dissecting his craft. What made the clip loop-worthy was tone. Gyllenhaal didn't perform charm or deflect with jokes. He paused, reflected, and allowed silence, an unusual rhythm for late-night television. Media analysts noted how that restraint stood out in an era of hyper-optimized sound bites. Even Jimmy Fallon seemed to give him space, letting answers land instead of rushing the next question. As of 2025, the interview is still being referenced in acting forums and on film Twitter as an example of why Gyllenhaal has quietly sustained relevance for over 2 decades. He didn't announce a reinvention. He articulated one. Somewhere between midnight uploads and morning headlines, viewers realized they weren't just watching a promo, they were watching an actor mid-thought, and that's why they kept hitting replay. Tom Brady makes headlines overnight again. Tom Brady has been retired from football since 2023, yet in 2024 and into 2025, he keeps proving that sleep is optional when it comes to headlines. The latest overnight surge came when Brady made his long-anticipated debut in the broadcast booth with Fox Sports, officially stepping into his role as the network's lead NFL analyst. The transition wasn't teased with dramatic countdowns. His first major appearance simply aired. Clips hit social media late at night, and by morning, Brady was trending everywhere again. What made the moment explode wasn't just curiosity, it was stakes. Brady signed a reported 10-year, $375 million deal with Fox back in 2022, a contract that instantly became the most expensive analyst agreement in sports broadcasting history. Analysts, former players, and fans were all waiting to see whether the greatest quarterback of all time could translate 7 Super Bowl rings into on-air authority. Within hours, his delivery, football IQ, and calm cadence were being dissected in the same obsessive way his fourth-quarter comebacks once were. The nerdy details mattered. Brady's commentary leaned heavily on pre-snap reads, defensive disguises, and clock management, exactly the areas where he built his legendary career. Media critics noted that while his style was understated rather than flashy, it reflected the same discipline that defined his playing years. Even comparisons to other ex-quarterback analysts flooded timelines before sunrise. What keeps making Brady headline-worthy is range. Since retiring, he's balanced broadcasting, business investments, ownership stakes in sports franchises, and a carefully managed public life, all without fully leaving the spotlight. As of 2025, he remains a case study in post-athlete reinvention. Tom Brady didn't come back to throw touchdowns. He came back to talk football. And once again, the internet woke up talking about him, too. Timothée Chalamet just posted one word, and it's everywhere. Timothée Chalamet didn't drop a trailer, write a caption essay, or tag a brand. He posted Dune 3 loading, and the internet immediately did the rest. In November 2025, as Dune Part 3 production wrapped, Chalamet shared a minimalist set photo with just those 3 words in the caption. No emojis, no explanation. Within minutes, screenshots spread across platforms, trending tags popped up globally, and fans began decoding meaning like it was a Denis Villeneuve subplot. What made the moment explode wasn't mystery for mystery's sake, it was timing. Chalamet was coming off a career-defining run that included Wonka, a box office success that proved his mainstream pull, while Dune Part 2 positioned him firmly as a modern sci-fi leading man. By 2025, audiences had learned that when Chalamet goes quiet or minimal, it's rarely accidental. Film marketers noted that the one-word post aligned perfectly with Dune's aesthetic, restrained, mythic, and confident enough not to over-explain. The reaction was immediate and nerdy in the best way. Fans cross-referenced the phrase with Frank Herbert's original novel, scanned previous cast interviews for clues, and debated whether it hinted at character evolution, narrative tone, or simply arrival. Even fashion and pop culture accounts jumped in, proving how wide Chalamet's influence now stretches beyond cinema alone. As of 2025, that single-phrase post is still cited in social media case studies as a masterclass in minimal celebrity communication. In an era where stars often overcaption and overshare, Chalamet did the opposite and won. He didn't ask people to pay attention. He trusted that they already were. One phrase, perfectly timed, became a global echo, reminding everyone that when Timothée Chalamet speaks, especially briefly, the internet listens closely. Blake Lively's post at 2 a.m. had everyone zooming in. Blake Lively didn't announce a movie, plug a brand, or crack a joke. Her It Ends With Us press tour styling around July 2024 turned the internet into a forensics lab. By premiere time, fans were zooming, circling, and screenshotting every patchwork dress and floral detail, convinced it meant something. And with Blake Lively, that instinct isn't paranoia, it's pattern recognition. The looks were understated yet deliberate. Boho chic, self-styled, and no traditional stylist. Accessories sparked debate. Even background elements were analyzed. Fashion writers jumped in quickly, pointing out that Lively is famously hands-on with her looks. She styles herself, avoids a traditional stylist, and treats clothing like storytelling rather than branding. That alone made the choices feel intentional, even if the meaning wasn't obvious. What pushed the moment into overdrive was timing. Lively had been notably selective in recent years, balancing family life, business ventures like Betty Buzz, and a return to acting with projects filmed quietly rather than hyped loudly. The press tour broke her usual rhythm amid the It Ends With Us release. Entertainment reporters connected it to ongoing conversations about her roles and public appearances, while fans debated whether the aesthetic hinted at a character look, a new era, or simply Blake being Blake. No clarification followed, no follow-up explanation, no wink to the audience. And that silence only fueled engagement. Media analysts later noted how rare it is for non-promotional styling to generate that level of sustained attention, especially from someone not chasing virality. As of 2025, the press tour looks are still referenced in pop culture breakdowns as a reminder that Lively's influence isn't about frequency, but precision. She didn't ask people to zoom in, she just gave them a reason to. One curated aesthetic, perfectly timed, and suddenly everyone was looking closer. exactly as she likely knew they would.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon